If your weekend promo didn't hit, I want you to listen to this and I want you to hear it. Take a deep breath first. Okay. Now I want you to hear this clearly. You were not the problem. The strategy was the problem. The system was the problem. Today we want to talk about and reveal to you the real truth behind why you're failing, and also show with you the secrets of how you actually can be seen, be heard, have that visibility that leads to you getting paid the way you want to. You ready to jump into that? I hope you are. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I'm a third-generation minister, international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. I've had the amazing privilege of working with nearly 5,000 people with their books, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, and everything that goes beyond that. You know, over the course of the last 40 years as a marketing expert, I've worked with multi-billionaires, brand new startup companies, stay-at-home moms, doctors, lawyers, nurses, you name it. We've done children's books, we've done adult books, we've done business, we've done fiction, we've done nonfiction. And I really want you to understand, I need you to hear clearly, you are not the problem. The tactics you're using are, the strategies you've been sold are, the gurus, as it were, that you've that have sold you things. They most definitely are, but you are not the problem. The strategy is, the tactics are. You need to do the things that you can do. There's an old saying, I love this one so much. A good friend of mine, Sid Bauman, actually taught this to me many, many years ago. And the phrase goes like this: control what you can and don't worry about what you can't control. Let me say that to you again. Control what you can and don't worry about what you can't control. You see, there are so many solutions out there that are really more talking to you about all the things that you really can't control. That if you just do this AI thing, that thing, this scam, this promise, this thing, that all of a sudden somehow magically things are going to be different. It's the age-old concept of, if you keep doing the same thing and expect a different result, what do we call that? That's the true definition of insanity, right? We need to understand how visibility works. Visibility is about you being visible where the people are, not the people coming to where you are. That's where the problem of the traditional landing page really runs into a problem. Yes, we can run a Facebook ad. Okay, but hear what I just said in there. Okay, we run an ad on Facebook. Okay, the people are on Facebook. Okay, they're not on your landing page. They're not just coming there generically. Okay, we can run an ad in Google. Yes, we can do SEO and we can get your website potentially visible on Google. But the truth of the matter is, the days of, hey, Chelsea, glad to have you here with us. The days of the promises, which were most of them lies, that, you can make it in the top 10 on, first page, in other words, on Google, is probably, is probably not real and probably never was. If you've done a search on Google anytime in the last year, 6 months definitely, what you see is the first answer is always an AI solution. So if your approach is Google, then where you need your information to be is seen and entered into the particular AI program that's then being pulled from. Right? Do you understand that? Do you get that? Okay, that's where the people are. The people go to Google, they search, the AI comes up and gives a solution. If your solution is part of the answer in that, if you've seeded that properly, okay, then you're where the people are. Okay, which leads me to the concept of books. All right, now, uh, no diss towards the traditional bookstore. I actually love bookstores. Okay, I totally love them. There is a bookstore chain. I only know of two of them, so chain might be a little bit over. Actually, I think there's three of them in the Portland area that's called Powell's. Okay, now the original Powell's is in downtown Portland. And if you happen to be anywhere near the Portland metro area, Portland, Oregon, I'm talking, you happen to be anywhere near the area, that is really a totally cool place to go. The newer building is it's a little bit more professional than what the old building was. And I'm not dissing the new downtown location. And I say new, I haven't been there in like 10 years. So they may even be totally different now. But back in the early days, back before they had the West, the Powell's West, which is in Beaverton, that's in a mall, well, one of those, storefront type of malls. Way before that, way before that was the downtown one. And that downtown store, it was pretty much, there was a few new books, but it was pretty much all used books. And you could go in and you could decide anywhere from a 99-cent copy of a paperback that was very well loved. Okay, that's what we're going to call it. Covers torn, and there might even be a couple pages missing sometimes, that kind of thing. Or you could go all the way up to spending like $10 to get, and it was still used. And like you said, later they transitioned where you could actually spend the whole retail price and get, spend the $20 and get the print, new book. But back in those days, it was all used stuff. And you could decide what level, and maybe you went where the $3 or $4 level where, you made sure all the pages were there and the cover wasn't all torn and there wasn't a lot of highlighted stuff in it. It was a cool experience. All right. Here's the problem, that even as cool as Powell's is, even as awesome as that is, the problem was, and you may be like right now, even experiencing this problem, because if you live nowhere near Portland, Oregon, you're like, well, darn, I wish I could go see that. Not to mention the fact that I'm talking about a bookstore, and really the original experiences I had with it are, oh my gosh, I'm talking like 25, 30 years ago. You can't get that. Okay. And you'd have to go there to get it. I know I went a little long in the explanation, but I need you to really understand it. That is the come to me model. Okay. And I'm suggesting to you, go to them. All right. 95% of all books that are sold off of Amazon. It's not Barnes and Noble. It's not Powell's. It's not Borders. It's not any of the other, and technically Amazon owns Goodreads. So you could, you really get into that 95 percentile when you start talking about Goodreads, online kind of places. If a book's out of print, there are some really cool other websites that, stock out of print books, and they go around and they find them. And I've gotten a few books from some friends of mine, that their books are no longer available. A few of them have even passed from us now. And, it's important to have those books. But there's nothing quite like picking up your book and feeling it and thumbing through it. There is an experience that a print book has. But still, the books, you got to go where people are going, where the people are for the books. You've got to be there. You've got to be visible. You see, the strategy, and I'll talk specifically with books, the strategy that's been being taught for the last 5, 6, almost 10 years now is create a landing page, buy an Amazon rather a Facebook or Google ad or both. Make it really highly convertible. Do all those kind of things. Get the people to your landing page and give them your book. Okay. Or if it's the print book, that's the ebook was free. The print book was, basically the cost of shipping and handling. So in most cases, it was about $7-8. Okay. To get the book. For a $25 book, that's a great deal. And then what's going to happen is on that page, there's going to be an order bump. Hey, would you like to get the companion guide that goes with that? It's only $7 more. And you're like, well, yeah, I got the ebook for free, or, oh yeah, I only paid $7 for the book. So, the book on Amazon is normally $20. So sure, I'm still, coming out ahead. And then you go to an upsell page, for just another $27, you could get this incredible teaching guide that I've done for it. It's all in video, or it's 3 or 4 videos or whatever it is. Okay. And and they may add that. And then the next order bump may be 47 and then 97, and technically speaking, the way that the order bump the upsell works really, and GoDaddy is the ones that were the absolute masters of that, and that's you just keep offering them stuff, offer them, and just keep prompting them. Would you like this? Would you like that? Would you like this? Would you like that? It's the age-old concept of, would you like fries with that? What would you like to drink with that? Maybe you'd like to try a dessert to go with that. Okay. Nothing happens until a sale is made. That's where the selling comes in. All right. And so I'm not dissing those, but again, you've got to go where the people are, pull them off of where they are, make them come to your thing, and then somehow create this amazingly wonderful landing page that in 20 seconds to 2 or 3 minutes, they're convinced, absolutely, I've got to have your thing. Do you see where that strategy doesn't work? There's no trust in there. People don't know you. And honestly, most of the time when we just get blam pitched, it's happening a lot these days on LinkedIn. Where, you're going through, and you get a message. You've got a message on LinkedIn. You go and you look at it. Hi, I love everything you're doing in the world. You're so incredibly, amazingly powerful. And, perhaps if other people knew about it, you could be the multi-gazillionaire that we've made our other clients be. Go to, would you be interested in finding out how you too can have a gazillion, million, billion, skillion people that are working with you? I exaggerated a little bit, but it kind of feels that way, right? Never heard from this person before. In many cases, they have a strange looking name. They may or may not have a picture. There's no knowing of them. There's no learning to like them. There's no trust built. Your book, on the other hand, and I showed you the other one, this is an older version. I've updated this one, and it's our new 40th book, but it's a short, little, tiny book. Okay, it doesn't have to be huge, but we give. Okay, radical generosity. That's what I talk about, and how can I help you today? Give with no expectation of getting out of it. Give them actionable things, and yes, absolutely. At the end of your book, give them an invitation to, hey, here's some more stuff you can do with me. You see, we need to build relationship with people. Let's go back to Facebook. Okay, if your people are on Facebook, then you need to be talking to people on Facebook. So in other words, if they're not looking for a book, okay, so if we're talking about a book, they're on Amazon. Okay, if we're talking about creating relationship, they're on Facebook, they're on LinkedIn. If they're somewhat younger, they may be on TikTok. Okay, if they're very deeply politically motivated in Trump world, that maybe they're on Truth Social. You know, they might still be on X or, or things like that. If they like the visuals of Pinterest, they might be on Pinterest. You got to know who you're talking to, where they are, and then be where they are and create a relationship with them. Did some light bulbs come on? I hope that you don't feel judged at all, because this isn't judgment. You were given the wrong strategy, and the strategy is never going to work. And then you didn't create the visibility where the people are and the algorithms. And whether you're talking about Amazon or Facebook or LinkedIn and all of that, they all have algorithms. And the algorithm monster is burying you because you're not doing things the way they want you to do it. And you don't need everybody. You need a handful of your people, the people exactly like you. Warm that audience up. Show them that you want to invest in them, that you're worth getting to know. Build trust with them. I promise you, if you do those things, that's when visibility is going to be built. Okay? If you'd like to see where you are in your visibility, I'd love to sit down and talk to you. You can put Amplify Review in a DM, or you can comment on this post. I need help. Let's meet for a few minutes and take a look at what you're doing to make yourself visible and what you could do. If you'd like a really low end, I have a really low end offer that'll immediately start helping you in your book really make visibility. We've done it. I mean, over the course of this last weekend, we helped over 50 people, nearly 50 books become bestsellers. Some of them have been on the bestseller list. Some of them were brand new. We then even showed it with both my book and Willie's book that we can not only make the book on the bestseller list, but we can keep it there. We can keep it ranking on the bestseller list. We know exactly how that process works. And we're not telling you, we're showing you, because we want to help you. You were never the problem. But the great news is, today, you get to be the solution. And I'd love to help you with that. Again, DM the word amplify to me or put it in the comments. Let's help you get seen so that you can have the visibility that you need. I hope until we're together again next time, which will be tomorrow, when we're going to talk about, let me show you what actually works in real time. And I'm going to share screen with you again and show you what's happening with some of the people again. Okay? And until then, I hope you have an amazingly wonderful, incredible, great week.